Sometimes men and women just don't speak the same language when it comes to love and relationships. So today we're breaking down the barrier, and ladies, we invited you to ask us what you really want to know, but may be afraid to say out loud. Well, we have a panel of Chicago men to give us the down low and answer all your most intimate questions. But today I'm flipping the script and I'm actually sitting in on the panel. So let's go.
But Jordan,
Hold up.
we're going to be leading the questions
That's right.
today, okay?
I'm gonna go ahead and sit
Yeah.
over here.
Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, we're joining the man panel. All right, so let's introduce everyone to our panel here. We have 3 different men, and they're all at different stages of their relationships. We've got Adam, who is single. We've got Jordan holding it down for the engagement out there, and then Stefan, you are married recently, right?
Indeed, yes.
Okay, cool.
How long we been married for?
Exactly 29 days, but who's counting?
Wow, that's 29 days of your life, I hope.
So far, so far.
All right, so we got some questions today from our viewers who wrote in with their personal stories, and they wanted some male feedback. So let's get to the very first one, okay? All right. They say, I cheated on my husband and we've decided to stay together, and since then he's super needy. He checks my phone. He needs to know where I am every second of every day. It's getting to be too much, but is this what I deserve for cheating? Can we get past this? Adam, why don't you start?
So here's what I think. If he's decided to forgive your infidelity and he's agreed to give you another chance, he has to get over it, at least to a certain extent. You know, he can't be breathing down your neck, because ironically that will drive a wedge between you guys and really kind of drive you probably into someone else's arms and lead to the same situation. So in my opinion, you know, there has to be some trust in the relationship. Regardless of what happened in the past, you have to get over it. And really, if your significant other isn't able to do that, I really don't think it will work.
Yeah. Jordan, what do you think?
For me, I feel like you can go radical with this, and you can say, I get a pass myself, and I'm going to do the same thing you did, and then we're back at even. I wouldn't suggest that, but that could be something that you do. But for me, if I find myself in a position as the man who is going through her phone, who wants to know where she is at every second, is that happiness to you guys? That's not happiness to anybody. So it comes a point where if you recognize it's been months after the infidelity, and you're not getting any further in your relationship, and you find yourself wondering what she's doing every moment, she's not happy there too, you got to move on.
Okay.
Because that's
And
not happiness.
Stefan, what do you think?
I would agree with Adam and Jordan on this case. I feel like the good news here is that you absolutely can get past it. The bad news is it is incredibly difficult, in my experience, to get over infidelity. It's probably the hardest thing for a relationship to get through. Mutual trust and respect are like the 2 main things that keep any long-term relationship happening, like going. And when you lose that thing, it's really
It's hard to
difficult.
get back, right?
It's incredibly
Once
difficult.
that's gone,
the hardest
that
thing.
usually ain't coming back.
Well, I think people miss that both people now have to come to fix it. Even though one person was the offender, both people have to come together
Yeah.
and
I'd
work
advise
on
the guy to
fixing it.
decide right away, is this something you think you can get over? And if you find out very quickly you cannot, you've got to make the tough decision to break it off and move on.
All right, Jordan, I hear you. Okay, so the next
They
viewer-
listen to y'all. They don't believe what I'm saying here.
Okay, so listen to this next viewer. They have a question about her dream man going silent, okay? She says, here's the question. I was dating a great guy. He's literally my dream man. Everything was great until we slept together. Now he's ghosted me, and I've reached out a few times now, but nothing. My girlfriends say I need to move on because I'm a catch, but I'm not ready to let go just yet. I need to hear a guy's perspective. Do I need to just move on, or is there any hope left in this? Am I just turning into a stalker by reaching out?
I'll take this one first. Because I've talked to women that are friends of my fiance that have been in this exact position. And you find out if a guy's real after you get intimate, right? Like you figure out, well, is he in it just to get the cookie, or is he in this because he wants to literally get to know me and pursue a potential relationship? So I think that is.
I like the euphemism.
Yeah, so
Cookie for-
that's the defining moment in a relationship in that early stages is, okay, I want to hold off on getting physical because I want him to work for it, and then when it happens, I want him to still want to be around after because he's invested in me. So if that guy has been great up until the moment that he slept with you and then he's ghosted you, that should be the red flag that he was in this for the chase and just wanted to get physical. He got what he wanted, and he's proven to you that that's all he was interested in. So don't waste your time. That was not a dream guy. That was all smoke and mirrors.
What do you think, Stefan?
I would say forget him, flat out,
Right?
no question. If you know, no matter how you feel about this relationship, dream guy, however you feel, if you've texted him 3 times and he hasn't responded, odds are he's not going to respond. So, I mean, you have to ask yourself whether or not you really want to invest more time and effort. I mean, we're all busy. We got stuff that we'd rather be doing with our time. Do those other things. Go do something else. Forget about this guy.
You deserve better.
You deserve better.
Adam, why do guys do this though? Like you made me feel like we had a connection. I know this is a pressure question because
Yeah.
you
help you
led
out.
me on.
Do this for the men out there, bro. Help us out.
So
You
I'm
led me
gonna.
on to believe that you really liked me, and then
Yeah.
now you're just gone.
So I agree with Jordan's point. The first point. There are guys out there, if he goes to you right after sex, there are usually 2 reasons in my experience. The first one is Jordan's, where this guy was just a jerk. That happens.
You just wanted to have sex.
Yeah, you just want to have sex.
Okay.
But there's a second reason. The sex could just have been really bad, like really bad. And
Great
so,
point. It's a great point.
yeah, and
That's
so,
not a connection.
yeah, and sometimes, as the, to answer the viewer's question, if this is happening constantly, if guys are leaving you right after sex, it might be a personal problem. You need to figure out what the problem is, and sometimes you just never know. You never really know. You never know why people do things.
But I would also argue with that guy, give it a chance. I mean, with the first time with somebody is never going to be the best time. And I think you need to give it a chance to work itself out. So don't put all your eggs, guys too, in that first intimate moment because it might be awkward, but then it might grow comfortable. And that shouldn't be a deterrent though, too.
But if you have a case where the first time is great, wouldn't you rather just go with that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody wins there, Adam. Are you kidding me?
So for our last viewer email, she has some concerns about issues in the bedroom. But before we can continue, we got to warn you guys, these topics may be a little bit mature for little ears, so this might be a good time to scoot them out of the room. Okay? There was your warning. All right. Here's the question. I have a fantastic boyfriend. He's caring, funny, and I'd say we're pretty happy. Our only real problem is in the bedroom. Everything is great for me, but he can't seem to finish. So usually after I'm done, he wants me to help him get it done manually, if you know what I mean. I don't love this part, but feel obligated. I want to know what you think. Is that my responsibility? Guys, what do you think?
Great
Jordan, why don't you
question.
start?
Great question. I would say when you say responsibility, I don't. That word makes me a little uncomfortable because I don't think it's any partner's responsibility for pleasure when it comes to the other person. But the idea in bed is for 2 people who love each other to physically pleasure each other, to show their love as they do it mentally and spiritually, but it comes out physically there, right? So in that circumstance, you want, at least with me, I want the woman I love to feel the maximum amount of pleasure she can. That's me giving. And so if that required me to do that post-sex, I would happily do that. I wouldn't expect it, I wouldn't demand it, and I hope the guy's not doing that in this circumstance, but I do think the woman should maybe want to do that to maximize pleasure, right?
Adam, what do you think?
Well, first of all, this is a really rare problem in my experience. Like a guy not being able to finish, like usually it's a girl's problem. Girls have, they're different. And so I would say to answer the question, responsibility is a rough word, but as Jordan said, you're in a relationship and you wanna make sure that your partner is happy. And so it really just comes down to, with relationships, you got to take the good with the bad. And I think, you probably should do it, or at least have that communication open and say, babe, what's happening? What can I do to finish or to help finish and come along? And just take it from there.
The worst thing you can do.
That's key.
Yeah.
The
That's
worst
key.
thing you can do is make them feel like they're the weird one
Yeah.
because they can't seem to finish.
I would agree with
Definitely.
that. I'd say open communication is pretty key here, as with most intimate issues. You want to keep a clear line of communication. If it's something that a person, they say they need, it's kind of difficult to say that you don't want to, like, if you're planning on having a long-term relationship with this person and it's a need that they have,
It's
then
a big part.
I think it's difficult to say that you don't have any responsibility to provide that. I would say that better yet, rather than having to deal with doing manual stimulation, I think is what we're talking about here. Forever, if you're not interested in doing that, would be to introduce new things in the bedroom. Like
great point.
try other things. try some new stuff. Maybe
Explore other things, and maybe that issue is no
Communicating
longer
and
an issue.
experimenting is what I hear you guys saying.
exactly.
Guys, such good points. Thank you guys so much
I
for
think we
coming
should have
in.
these
This
guys
was really
back.
fun.
I think we
I
did
think
all
so
right.
too.
I think
So
we're
many
not
more
as dumb as we
questions.
look, right?
So much more to uncover.
Those are
So
great
big
answers.
thank you to Adam, Jordan, and Stefan. You guys were
I think
great.
I'll stick around, Carly.
All right, cool. You stay here, Jordan. All right, and we want to hear from you guys at home, so hit us up on social media. Let us know what you thought about today's Men Tell All, and what do you want us to talk about next? Let us know.